I am by no means a Polyphia fan, but if I want to get through this challenge, I'm basically going to have to become one by the end of this week. See, the challenge for this video is I have to learn an entire Polyphia song in just 1 week. Can I really do that? I don't really know. So today, in this video, that's what we're going to be testing. That's what we're going to challenge. We're going to see if we can learn an entire Polyphia song in just 1 week. And I want to see if I could become a fan of this music. I have nothing against Polyphia. I just do not normally listen to this style of music, but I just want to see if I can really become a fan. So, without any further ado, let's get this challenge on the road. I decided to start this challenge that I would just go ahead and I would try to just look at the chart. That way I would just be able to see all the notes that were coming at me, so I wouldn't struggle with, I just want to see what was in front of me, what was going to be the battle that I had to, put myself through several hours of torture through the week. So I decided to just blindly look at the track. Now, I had played this song once before on my channel, but that was just a blind reaction and I had no idea what was happening. So I figured I was just gonna get a refresher just by looking at the Rocksmith track just so I could see the notes go by. The insanity of this song cannot be understated. Okay. So yeah, I took a small look and it was obviously already seeming like this was going to be an absolute, oh my god, it's gonna be absolute ride. Yeah. How is that supposed to be possible, okay? Oh, well, let's try it. Okay. Well, let's just try this full speed. Let me actually see with Rocksmith you can separate this into sections. I'm just gonna try to play this at full speed to see what happens right now. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. Okay. I just wanted to do that just to see. So obviously I expected to be crushed, but I just kind of practiced it at 100% speed first because I wanted to see how much progress I could make, I could make at the end of this challenge, because I want to see how much better or maybe even worse that I got at the end of this challenge. So I knew I was going to be destroyed. I knew I was going to do really badly. So I decided to slow it down significantly. This would help me a lot, so I would be able to really digest the notes and be able to just look at the finger positions that I was doing on my guitar, and I'd be able to really see every note that was coming at me, every chord. So I decided to slow it down significantly. This helps me a lot, and I feel like this helps a lot of musicians, but I slowed it down a lot, and it's gonna seem very slow, but this actually very much helps me just take in everything. Dude, and this is my strategy I normally use when I learn songs, is slow it down significantly, so that way I can get the correct rhythm in, and then I just slowly practice it until I get better. So this is what I ended up doing, and yeah. That one part that really gets me right now, and this is just day one. Oh my god. That last chord, it was that. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. How do you go back? Okay. Okay. So there's a tapping bit right there, and it goes. Okay. And then you do it. Okay. See, it's really hard to see. We have to look at your guitar and then look at the screen, but okay. I figure at this point in the video, this is a good time to say that all practicing time in this video will probably be cut down. Like all practicing segments will be cut down by like at least like 95 to 99%. That's, I don't even know if that's an exaggeration, because I practice a lot off camera, so I'll only be showing you just a little bit of each section, so that way you won't be just, I want to spare you the details of how long it actually took me. So just know it took me probably at least for each segment you see, it probably at least took me maybe 20-30 minutes at the least, because I was practicing a lot like off camera. So I just wanted to say that. So I just kept on practicing, and I was struggling significantly a lot, like probably for at least like 20 minutes at this point, with just trying to remember the notes. For me, it's difficult for me to just remember the notes and get them in my brain, so that way I don't have to like look at the tab. That was my #1 goal. I was trying to remember them so I didn't have to look at the screen, so I could just look at my guitar and play the notes. So I did get better at this, and I got a little bit better, so I ended up taking like an hour break, and I practiced a little bit more. As I said, some off camera, some on camera. I'm not going to show like all the extra stuff, but I ended up practicing a little bit more off camera, and then eventually I realized I was playing the wrong note. Okay, that's what it is. I think I missed that. Yeah, it was pretty sad. I've been playing that wrong. I'm so mad. I've been playing that wrong. Okay, it's 12. It's not 11. It's 12. Oh my god. Okay, well, I have to unlearn that. That sucks. I've been playing it wrong. Oh my god. I'm so mad. Let me not do that again. Oh my god. Now I have to unlearn it. Okay. It's 12 right there. And then that. So basically I was playing the 11th fret on the G instead of playing the 12th fret. Which doesn't sound like that big of a deal. When you've been practicing something for like basically at least like 45 minutes, and you keep on playing that wrong note over and over again, it's going to be ingrained into your muscle memory. So yeah, so I had to relearn that. So I ended up just trying over and over and over again to like relearn the actual like correct way to do it, because for some reason my brain was just not working, and I had to unlearn to do the 11th fret on the G, and I had to learn to do the 12th fret on the G, which is really difficult for me. But I did slowly get better and better, and I started to increase my speed, and eventually I practiced and I got all the way up to 70% speed. 70. But come on. Okay. Okay, let's try 70. This is already getting a little fast for me. A little more sloppy, but we're hanging on, all right? Like, a lot of the notes in Rocksmith are just gonna say, like, it's gonna say miss, 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 miss. But I didn't really care, because I was doing pretty good, and sometimes Rocksmith's detection is kind of like it gets kind of finicky sometimes. But I didn't really care about what they were telling me. I just cared about how well I was doing. So I felt like I was doing significantly better than when I started, because I was at this point I was starting to get like a grasp of all of these things, and I felt like I had a decent handle of 70%. I was still very sloppy, but I felt like I could at least like somewhat keep up with 70%. I felt like I was pretty good at it. So I tried 80% speed, and Can we do 80%? I don't know. That's really, really pushing it. But we're gonna try, okay? Oh my god! Oh my god, that's, yeah. Yeah, no way, no, I can't do 80. 70, we're up to 70% already. We couldn't do 30 at first, but now we're doing okay. Okay, that's enough. Oh, I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, 80% speed was just a little bit too much for my liking. Even though I felt like it wasn't completely horrible, I could not keep up. Like, I could not keep up. I was still, like, making a ton of mistakes, but I thought it wasn't too bad because I already had gotten to 70% speed, doing pretty okay-ish. So I was going to take that W. So since I figured we were kind of reaching like the end of the day and I was kind of feeling like I should wrap it up, I decided to wrap up the practicing segment for today because, I mean, I have already practiced a lot, so I just decided we're going to come back the next day and we're just going to end day one right now and we're going to see how good we are tomorrow. I decided to start day two by seeing how far along I was by testing this from trying 100% speed to see how much I have, like, you know, improved and developed from day one. All right, let's just try this at 100%. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh, no, there's no way. I'm just gonna save you the trials and tribulations. It was still absolutely terrible. I could not like play at 100% speed to save my life at that point, and it was just so frustrating for me because I'm very used to just being able to like spend like an hour or two and then just have a pretty good handle on like songs, but this one was giving me a lot more trouble. I don't practice this style ever, like literally ever, so this was something very new for me. All the two-hand tapping that was going into it was just really difficult for me to learn, and it was kind of frustrating because I wasn't really used to learning a different style like this. And I do learn different styles every now and then, but this is unlike anything I really had put a lot of time into. So I decided, since 100% speed was like way too fast, obviously, I decided to go into 80% speed to see if I was at least better than yesterday. Not bad. I could somewhat keep up. Okay. Wow. Okay, we're doing really good. Wow. Okay. I saw some improvements. Like I think I was making like a couple of improvements. I was very happy with just the progress I had made, even though I felt like I could be kind of hard on myself. But even though I kind of wished I was farther along, I felt like I was moving at a decently like okay pace. Oh my god. That's why I was missing notes. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I thought something was wrong too. Okay. I spent the rest of the day just kind of, practicing on and off. Mostly just like, I would just sit here and practice the same thing, like in the studio. And yeah, I kind of practiced a little bit like off camera. And that was basically about it for day 2. Nothing too crazy. I just basically just rinse and repeat for day 1, except I just practiced a ton of like, I practiced like 70% speed for the most part. And I went a little slower, and I just kind of took my time with things. So that was about it for day 2. Okay. Just wrap it up for now. Do some more practicing off camera, and we can do this. We got this, okay? Day 2, we're doing okay. Yet another day of impossible Polyphia practicing. That was my Rocksmith cable. At day 3, I wasn't sure how to feel. I felt like good and bad. At this point, I was just kind of wondering, how am I going to progress? Am I going to progress quickly enough to be able to complete this challenge? How is this video going to turn out? Because I have even done a video that's of this style. So I decided I was just going to start the day by doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. So I did nothing for about maybe far too long. And then after I did nothing, I decided to finally get back to the studio after being so lazy. And I practiced off camera for a little bit before starting. And then after that, I decided to go just look at the riff repeater, because there's the riff repeater in Rocksmith, which just kind of helps you look at all the notes that are coming at you, which is the same tool I've been using. I don't know why I'm re-explaining it, but anyways, I went to riff repeater and I decided to speed up to 90%. At this point, I had never really tried 90%, like seriously, and I wasn't sure like how it would go. Oh my god, I lost it. I was doing good at first. How is this possible? Oh my god. Okay. And surprisingly, I actually kept up decently with 90%, which was insane because like the previous day, I felt like 80% was still like it was better, but I still felt like I needed improvements. So yeah, at this point I was a little surprised. I was kind of surprising myself a little bit, but I knew there was a lot more work that had to be done with just learning the song, because at this point, I realized that it was only a small section of the song. And then I start bleeding on my finger. Yeah, that was not the greatest thing for me to do, but I don't know. It was like one of those like weird, I don't know, like I don't even know how I started bleeding. It was just like the way that somehow like my finger, I think it was like all the tapping stuff, I think somehow like my finger like scraped like along the string, so my finger ended up bleeding, and I was kind of surprised because I don't know if that's ever actually happened to me before. So yeah, I started bleeding, and I would show you guys, but I don't want to get demonetized by YouTube. I don't want YouTube to yell at me, so Yeah, I started bleeding, and that kind of killed my confidence. And it actually hurt. Like, it actually hurt because when I was doing the tapping, I felt like my finger, like the area of my finger was like all roughed up, and it was hard to continue from there. But I decided to just keep on going. I tried 100% speed. Okay, we're just gonna see if we could keep up with 100%. Oh my god. Why does it feel so much faster? Oh my god. Oh my god, that feels so much faster. Also, ow, my finger. Dude, that actually hurts. Like, what the heck? Oh my god. Like, I know it doesn't look like much on the camera, but dude, this stings. It doesn't hurt that much. It's just, it stings. Like, it's like that stinging pain. Like, oh my god. I think the... God. Well, that's the most metal thing I think I'll ever do. Okay. No, that's still way too fast. Why is 100% so much? It just seems so much faster than 90. Okay, let me try 90. Let me do 90 again. Why does that seem so much slower? See, like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Okay, let's do it one more time. What? Why does that seem so much faster? Oh my god. Why does that seem so much faster? Still sloppy. We can do 90%. We can't do 100. Dude, my fingers, like, oh my god. It hurts so much. Like, dude, there's like a big... Like, you can't really see it much because of my camera, but there's like a big, like, chunk on my finger that is... Yeah, ouch. I have never had that happen before. In all of my 7 years of playing guitar, I don't think I've ever had that happen before. Oh my god. Ow. Okay. I'm gonna stop being a baby. Okay? Stop being a baby. Let's try 95%. Let's try 95%. See, that's better. Like, I feel like that's close. We're getting closer. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Whew, that's enough for now. Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna let my finger rest up, and we'll come back to this. At this point, I noticed it was hard to step into the studio every day. In case you guys don't know my recording schedule, I'm about to drop it right now. So basically, I only take 1 to 2 days at the most for a recording session per week. A lot of people think that I'm just uploading all the time, but like if you see me sometimes in the same shirt, it's because sometimes I record multiple videos at a time, so then I just release them periodically, like throughout the week. So this works a lot better with my schedule, so that way I don't just have to like hop into the studio like every single day. And I find that a lot more tiring than just taking, like 1 day and just recording like a big, like, just having a big recording session. But at this point, I realized that it was so tiresome for me to do a week-long challenge because it was just difficult for me to just get into the studio every day. I had to get the motivation. I had to feel like, okay, get up, let's put on a fresh face, let's get in front of that camera, and let's probably learn something that you're not going to be able to in a week. And it's hard to do that. Like, I think a lot of people underestimate the difficulty of how difficult it is to just jump into the studio and just record that. And on top of that, I was still recording my other Rocksmith videos. I was still doing a ton of different bands while trying to balance my schedule with my actual job and like with my real life and just learning this Polyphia song. So there's so many things that I felt like it was tough to balance at this time. But even though I was struggling a lot with just like that balance. You know what I did? I just hopped right back in the studio because I wanted to record and I wanted to prove to myself that I could complete a challenge like this, that I could be consistent, because I'm terrible with consistency. But I told myself I'm not going to tell myself that, because I'm just going to get in here, I'm not going to overthink it, and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. I got into the studio and I decided to do this. I was 50-50 on it, but I finally decided to see if I could just go to the next section of the song to see if it's even playable, because I realized it was only one section of the song that I had learned, and I needed to start learning other sections. I had already spent like a good 3 days just learning one section of the song that I can't even play at 100% speed. So at this point, I needed to go on to the other sections of the song so I could see if it's actually possible. Okay, what's the next section? Oh my god. It was absolutely insane. The next section of the song was so crazy that it was honestly my worst nightmare, because I felt like it was difficult in a different way. You see, the first thing that I was learning kind of went in between chords and like two-hand tapping. So that's what they were doing. Like they would do like tapping and they would go back to chords with some like fast picking. But with this one, it was a much like more intricate, and I won't even say more intricate, but I would just say it was a different style, because this required a lot of like fast picking and a lot of like finger stretches and a lot of very strange like arpeggios that they were doing, like very arpeggiated chords like up the neck, and I didn't know that it would be like a lot different. And I guess it's not that much different, but I was expecting more like two-hand tapping, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But when I didn't get that, I didn't know how to respond. Because I thought it would be something similar. But when I looked at the next section, it was just way too much. I was way too much for my brain. I felt like it was almost like a confidence killer. So instead, I decided to just work on the same favorite part that you've probably heard a million times. I decided to work on it more, because why not? I figured I had to, because I didn't just want to learn something that would be impossible, because I would rather just be a master at one part of the song than just equally mid at like the entire song. I wanted to be able to play one part of the song decently, so I just focused on that. Okay, that's gonna take a lot of off-screen practicing. Holy crap. Oh my god. Okay. No, we're not gonna. We're gonna worry about that later. Yeah, how do we go back? Yeah. We're gonna practice this bit more. Yeah, we're gonna worry about that later. Oh my god. Okay. Let me speed that up a little bit. And let me adjust my camera. Okay. And at this point, I was just so scared. I felt like I wasn't gonna be good enough in time, because I only had a couple more days. This was the end of day 4. And I went into this challenge so optimistic, just feeling like I could beat this challenge. But I didn't think I could anymore. I felt like at this point the voices were kind of getting to me. I felt like there wasn't enough time. I was so scared at this point, and I didn't really know what to do. And I severely underestimated the difficulty of this challenge, and I was almost like regretting even going on the entire video. At this point, I was just wondering, should I even finish this video? Okay. Let's try 100%. Why not? Let's go for it. Okay, believe it or not, that is the best time I've actually done it at 100%. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I lost it. Okay. Yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. Extremely sloppy on 100. We cannot do 100. We can do 90 decently well. I'm still kind of scared of the other parts, though. This is like probably not even like, what, 20 seconds of the song, and I've been on it for days. Oh, man, I'm starting to lose hope. I don't know if I can do this by a week, but we'll do a lot of practicing off camera, and hopefully we'll just get better. We just need to get better and better. We only have a couple days left, and I'm starting to lose hope, but, you know, I think we can do this. I think we just need to focus a lot. God, it's so sloppy. God, oh my God. Okay, that's good. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, we'll do better. We got to. Like, we have to. I need 90%. I need the 90% by the end of the week. That would be so good. This was day 5. So at the start of day 5, I decided to learn the other part that I was struggling on, mostly off camera. I may show like one section, like one short section, because mostly, man, this, for some reason, this is just giving me so much more trouble. It was just so many, like, I felt like there were a lot more notes. The previous section I was learning had a lot more space. I felt like I had a lot more space in between. Like, you would do a chord, pause quickly, and then you would do like a couple notes. You do a couple more chords, you pause quickly again, do a couple more notes. But this one was just, it just felt like it was relentless. It just felt like the notes just kept on going by, and I didn't even know like what to say or what to do. I felt like the notes just were getting to me, and it just felt so difficult to escape. So I practiced a lot off camera, and then I decided to try to memorize it, but I there was no way I could memorize it. I tried so much, I practiced so much in that day, but I just couldn't memorize all of it. So then I decided to look at the other sections to see how the other sections looked. I don't know if you guys are seeing some of these stretches, but there's like 14 to like 14 to like 19. Look at that stretch. Like, guys, that is insane. It's like a 14 to 19 stretch. Yeah, this is really difficult. I'm starting to lose hope for the challenge, honestly, which is honestly really a bummer, because I don't even remember how many sections of this song are just like this one. Like, what if this is just a small sliver of impossible? Okay, I can't. I need to. My God, yeah, I need to look ahead. Okay, so that's the same thing. That's easier. I think that's the same thing. Yeah, that's the same part. Okay. That's not that bad. Yeah, that shouldn't be that bad. That also shouldn't be that bad. It's still slowed down, I know, but see, that won't be as nearly as difficult to like learn. Now those parts might be a little tricky. Let's see. Oh my God. No, there's no way. How am I supposed to learn that? I only have, what, 2 days The other left? Sections just were not any easier. They just kept on getting more and more difficult in different ways. For some reason, the tapping parts, I tried some of these off camera, but they were just they were just too much, and I didn't know what to do at this point because I felt like I already failed. And this was my first ever video that I had done, a documentary type style video. I was so excited for. I was so excited to crush it. I was so excited to just kill this challenge, and I was excited to do great, but I didn't prepare to fail. I didn't know what would happen. Like, were the people going to be just disappointed in me? Were they going to feel like I was lying because I couldn't complete the challenge? At this point, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know what to say, so I just did the only thing that I really felt like I could do. I just practiced more off camera. I just practiced the sections I had already been working on, and then just ended the recording. There wasn't really much I could do at that point, so I just practiced more, and I just ended day 5. At this point, something was really going to have to change. I was going to really have to have a big push, because I don't know what I was going to have to do for day 6. And I felt like at day 6, I was really going to have to work hard, or this was not going to happen at all. I know you probably would have expected me to just be practicing all day and just working as hard as I possibly could to just get this video out. And no. So I was lazy the entire day. At this point, I felt like I just lost like all of my motivation, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I knew in my brain, deep in my brain, I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew what it took to get to the point where I was trying to, where I felt like the promised land. I felt like the promised land was so close, and really, realistically, it was just a couple hours away of practicing, right? But no. I was just lazy the entire day. I didn't really do anything. I just kind of sat there like a rock, and I dreaded going to the studio. It was so difficult for me to actually just get up and like record. At this point, I was almost sick of it. I didn't want to get up and record. I just wanted to lay there. So I spent the whole entire day, just doing almost not nothing, but like just not recording. So I was not recording and not practicing either. I didn't even work on the song. So at the end of the day, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm finally going to practice. So I decided to practice off camera. I don't have any footage of that, so I just practiced off camera for a little bit. And that was basically it. That was all that I did for day 6. I was kind of, at this point, very worried that I wouldn't be able to complete this challenge because I just spent the entire day doing nothing, basically. And I decided that on day 7, whatever happened was going to happen. At this point, there were too many sections of the song to memorize. I still hadn't gotten to 100% speed, being able to play it completely cleanly, and I just didn't really know what was going to happen when it just came to trying to play the whole thing. If I can't even play one part all the way, then how am I supposed to play the whole song? So I decided at this point I was just going to let it happen. I was just going to let whatever happens, and I was just going to do my absolute best. So this is day 7. At day 7, I decided I would practice off camera, and that's how I began my day. And I just realized that it was impossible to learn this and get 90% accuracy in a week. I just figured it was impossible. Like it wasn't possible. I hadn't even learned like all this. I hadn't learned like 90% of the song, and I was just stuck on that one part. And at this point, I just felt completely hopeless, and I felt like I just failed, and I let everyone down. And I just felt that people were going to insult me, people were going to come at me, and I just felt like a failure. And I know it may seem a little harsh, but I really went into this video just such high expectations, which is thinking that I would be able to do this like so effortlessly and like flawlessly, but it just wasn't the case, and it didn't happen. Everything that I had done to try to make sure that this would work, it didn't. It just didn't come to fruition. I felt like I didn't work hard enough. I felt like I didn't do enough. But at this point, I realized something. I realized that my personal improvement was most important. I looked at the beginning of this challenge and realized that I was just flailing around. I didn't even know what was happening. With all the notes that were going across the screen, I couldn't see a single thing. But now I realize I can mostly play it pretty decently at 90% speed. And I even got a couple runs where I could play it almost somewhat well at 100%, where I could keep up with it. And I decided that I wasn't going to let this keep me down because I got better. Even though it was only a little bit of the song that I got better at, I improved. I actually got better with this. And that was enough to give me hope. And it was enough to make me realize that Crazy Awesome is truly crazy awesome. Ah! Oh my god. My god, I'm going crazy. Polyphia, Tim Henson. I don't want to do it. Why, Tim? Why must you be so? Why? I spent so long with just everything, with the recording process, with just getting into the studio every day, with the motivation. I felt like I was so tired and I was so exhausted. I realized that my goal was just trying to learn this song like I was some AI generated perfect modern 2025 guitarist that can just play stuff immediately, that tries the absolute hardest to just be the most try-hard guitarist. But I realized that's not who I am. I am an idiot. I'm a goofball. I'm a fun goofball that loves to record YouTube videos, and I was not gonna let this keep me down. So you know what I decided to do? I decided that maybe I wasn't gonna be perfect. Maybe that I was gonna mess this up. I was gonna butcher this whole thing. Does that mean the video is bad? Does that mean the video is over? It's not. Because one thing that I learned, that I may not be the fastest learning guitarist, I may not be the smartest guitarist, but I am the guitarist with the most heart. So I took my heart and my passion, and I decided we're gonna do our best. I'm not perfect, but I got better. We're gonna finish this. We're gonna play through this whole song, and we're gonna do this. Let's do this. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, already. I don't know how to play this part. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. And I did not practice these parts at all. I may not be the best guitarist, but I have one thing that I know no one else on this YouTube platform has. You may think it's hard, but it's stupidity. It is stupidity. gained a newfound like respect for Polyphia. Like, sure, there may be crazy musicians. You may not like the. Maybe you don't care for the style. But they put a lot of work into this. I respect the hustle. I respect them a lot. Even though I'll never be able to play this. Or no, I won't say that. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. It's not today, but one day I'm gonna do it, okay? I know I can learn songs like this. This video did not turn out the way I thought it was going to, and I thought about not uploading it, but here we are. Did we improve? That's the question. And apparently I had gone up 10%. I went from 54% accuracy to 64% accuracy, which I thought was amazing. That's a 10% increase, which in only a week, I was able to just have a 10% increase. So I thought, you know, if I do this again, what if I go from 64% to 74%, then to 84%, and then to 94%, all the way until I can get to 100. So even though that I didn't get the best accuracy, even though that I could not play this song by the end of the week, I realized something. I realized that I was happy with just learning. I was happy with being a guitarist, and I was happy with being the musician that I am. And even though that I wasn't able to complete this challenge, I put more work into this video and more work into just hopping into the studio every day than, honestly, it had been a long time since I ever put so much like effort into just doing something. And commitment. It's hard for me to stay committed, and I felt like I did this. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This was an incredible journey, and let me know if you guys like these kind of documentary style type videos. If you guys actually like these, then I may do some more in the future. If anyone's actually still watching at this point, then just know I am terrible and I cannot talk and I don't have a script. So so I don't really have a script at all, but I do have heart. So I mean, that's one thing. I have a lot of heart. So you know what? We did it. We did good. And Crazy Awesome, we're gonna remain Crazy Awesome, all right? Because I felt fairly proud of myself in this challenge. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if you want to see any more like song challenges like this. You know, learn a song in a week. And even though I didn't get 90% in a week, I was trying to get the 90%. It didn't happen, but I can tell you what did happen. I gained understanding. I gained knowledge, and that's truly priceless. Maybe only take a couple more weeks for me to get to 74, and then 84, and then 94, and then finally be able to play it. So you know what? I'm gonna be happy because we did it. We played it. We practiced basically every single freaking day. We did Polyphia so much, and you know, I'm at the end of my rope with this, and you know, I might take a little break from the style of video. But yeah, but just let me know like what you guys want to see next. I put a ton of work into this, and I'm happy. I'm happy that we did this, and it's not just about, you know, the destination, but it's about the journey. So I feel like I did learn a lot. I learned how to play that Polyphia part, and I feel like it's probably etched into my brain forever. Oh my gosh. I'm a poor man, Tim Henson, but you know, I'm a poor man, Tim Henson, all right? But you know who I am? I am Crazy Awesome. I can't say I am that. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys make sure to take care, stay awesome, and most importantly, rock on. So I felt like at this point, going through everything I went through with Polyphia, I really gained a new respect for them. I felt like they were a lot more than just, just a bunch of crazy guitar sounds, like, just crazy try hard guitarists, but I felt like I really learned a lot more about the particular style that they go into, just like seeing all the different chord shapes and being able to understand music theory a little bit, and just seeing like the different arpeggiated shapes up the neck, and just being able to like see all the ways that they would like use their harmonies, and it was very interesting, and I felt like I gained a completely like new respect for Polyphia. So I can probably say that, I mean, I'm not like the giantest like Tim Henson fan, but Tim, if you're watching this video, honestly, you're an amazing guitarist. You are an amazing guitarist, and I gained a lot of respect and just a lot of admiration for just going on this journey with Polyphia. And I feel like I can actually enjoy and appreciate Polyphia's music a lot more just going on this, like learning all of this. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's about all I have for you. As I said, just let me know if you want me to embark on these crazy journeys. It could be with any band. If you want to see me try to learn a song in a week, as I said, with the documentary style, I'm very new, so it's probably going to be very inconsistent and not very good. So I don't really expect this video to be good, but I do expect it to be something different, which is what I was aiming for. I wasn't aiming for the perfect video. I was aiming for something different, something that I don't normally do on my channel, something that is not just me spitting out, the same kind of content. I want to do different style of videos, and even though this is pretty close to like the normal stuff that I would do, I figured that I would just give you guys just a taste of what I'm really like. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll do this again someday. Probably not anytime soon because I am insanely tired, but you know what? I'll be back with this someday. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. You guys make sure to take care, stay awesome, and most importantly, rock on.